Diane in Denmark here, and rah, rah, rah. It is Monday morning. I'm really trying to push those rahs this morning. I'm feeling a bit kind of tired today. We had a long weekend here in Denmark. It was I mentioned the other day, we had a great prayer day here on Friday, which was statutory holiday. So we were here and then we went to our Swedish summer house. And I've been up late watching Eurovision and doing lots of hygge things. So I'm just taking it slow this morning. You know, I've mentioned before, I'm a slow mover in the morning. So I'm just kind of putting one foot in front of the other, extra cup of coffee, and it'll all be good. Anyway, let me just close the window because I don't know, you can probably hear the birds out there. I was just getting a bit of fresh air, but you can maybe also hear the foghorns going off of the boats. It was very foggy here first thing this morning. Anyway, let me just close the window and then we'll get started. Right, that's a bit better. Hope you can hear me now. Yeah, as I said, I'm a slow mover in the mornings, and that's one of the things that I love about my Flylady routines. That just by, doing a wee bit of work the day before just makes a really nice, smooth start the next morning. For example, I've got my swimming bag ready to go. It's on the launch pad. I'm going out for a swim very soon, and my bag is ready to go because I tidied it out when I last used it on Friday. So that's all set up. Part of my evening routine, if you follow me on Instagram, you'll already know this. Part of my evening routine is setting up the coffee maker, setting the table for breakfast, and it's so nice to come down in the morning and just be able to grab the coffee, if I'm having one of those days. Also, my outfit is ready to go. I picked my outfit the night before, and this is one of the ones from the clothes swap party. If you saw my video last week, I got lots of lovely things at the clothes swap party, and a top which I got from a charity shop last year. And I noticed, I'm in the Dressing Your Truth lifestyle group. We've got this Facebook group where people post their outfits either daily. I post mine once a week. And I noticed when I posted my outfits there yesterday, almost everything that I wore last week was either a clothes swap item or a charity shop item. So you don't need to be spending lots of money, to put together, a nice outfit for yourself. Anyway, enough of that. Let's go on to today. Today is Monday, hooray, 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 start of a new week, and I'm going to be taking it, slowly, one foot in front of the other. I'm not going to be showing it today, but I do my weekly home blessing hour. I either do it all in one go or I spread it out over the week. I've made videos about this before, and I'm just going to wipe this off and tick things off as I go. Also this week we are moving on to new Flylady Zone. Woohoo! We're going to be in Flylady Zone 4 this week. It's the 4th week of the month, which means Flylady Zone 4, which is the bedroom, master bedroom, and if you've got a walk-in closet. In Europe, we don't have, generally speaking, we don't have walk-in closets. We've normally got, perhaps a built-in wardrobe or a wardrobe in your room and maybe a dresser. We don't have those whole rooms. But that's where we'll be working for Flylady Zone 4 this week. And remember, if you've got a control journal, maybe you've already printed it out, but you can either go to the Flylady website, look at the missions and just pick one of those, or, here we are, just show you the Zone 4 one, or you can print out the detailed cleaning list and take a few things from there. You'll see me in Zone 4 this week. I'm probably going to do a wee bit of decluttering of jewellery and a wee spot of cleaning in there. And what else was I going to tell you? Oh yeah, and also I promised every day this month I've been checking in with you for our 31 days of exercise challenge. Remember, Flylady in the month of May, the focus is on getting a wee bit more exercise into our day, a wee bit more exercise into our daily routines. We're not talking about running marathons, having to climb Mount Everest. We're just doing some small things here. So I've been checking in with you every day, and I tell you what I did the day previously. And I've made a video every day this month. Usually I only make videos Monday to Friday because I try and keep things balanced, but I promised you I would check in. So I've been making some small videos also the weekend. Hopefully you've seen those. I was running along the sides of rapeseed fields in Sweden, so lots of colourful pictures. Anyway, for my exercise for yesterday, and I'm going to tell you something here. I almost caught myself with that thinking of saying, oh, but was that enough? I'll tell you what it was. Anyway, yesterday we're in Sweden, and I took a walk along the beach, and I'll see, I filmed a wee bit of it, so I'll see if I can tag that on at the end of this video, because it's beautifully calming there. I love being beside the sea, and I love anything that's kind of sea coloured. I walked along the sea, and also did a wee spot of cleaning at the weekend cabin. I generally do 10 or 15 minutes each time we're there, just to keep it ticking over. And I did a wee spot of gardening yesterday morning at the cabin. I was pulling out some weeds. And I almost thought to myself, oh, well, that wasn't really enough. No, that was fine. I was out of the house, you know, for my walk, and I was doing something. I was off my booking, doing a bit of gardening and cleaning. So that is fine. Please don't go down that way of thinking of, oh, you know, if I'm not going to the gym, it's not a proper workout. We're just making sure that we're physically moving, getting a wee bit more exercise into today. That's all it is. So, you know, and even I caught myself thinking that yesterday, and thinking, oh, maybe I should go for a run. No, I did plenty. So, you know, good enough is good enough. Oh, and I'll just give you a wee roundup of the fun things that we did this weekend, because as I said, it was a long holiday weekend for us. So on Thursday night, my husband and I went to the cinema. It's not often we go out, especially not on a Thursday night, but my daughter, she, as I mentioned to you, she had our whole old class over here for dinner. So we left the building and left them to it. So my husband and I, we went to the cinema, and there was nothing really that we wanted to see, but we went to the cinema and we had a look to see what was on the boards. And we ended up seeing Green Book, and I don't know if you've heard of it. It's the one with Viggo Mortensen. Viggo Mortensen is originally from Denmark, and actually it wasn't bad. I was a bit worried it was going to be too kind of cheesy and sentimental. You know, I'm really not into that type of film. But actually, I was pleasantly surprised, and it's one of those feel-good films, and it's actually quite funny, and it reminded me a bit of a film I saw a couple of years ago. I went to see it with Helena and our daughters. We went to see Hidden Figures, and it's the same kind of vibe. You know, the music is good, and a lot of good moments in it. So anyway, if you haven't seen that, it's worth seeing. And then at the weekend, when we're in Sweden, we also watched a film, something on our local TV provider thing. And it was one that my friend Catherine, who's originally from New Zealand, from Wellington, she had recommended it to me ages ago. Every time I meet up with Catherine, I always write down on my telephone all the books and films that she mentions. And it was one that she had mentioned ages ago. Anyway, it was called 3 Billboards Outside Ebbings. It's got a long title. Anyway, if you just look up 3 Billboards, you'll find it. And it was, you know, when I read what it was about, it sounded pretty gruesome. It's about a mother whose daughter has been raped and murdered. Okay, so that sounds awful. But it's a really kind of quirky film, very black humour, not suitable for kids. But I really enjoyed it. It was a great film, and it was a kind of, if you're into Coen Brothers films, it's got that kind of vibe to it. So anyway, so really enjoyed that. And the other thing, of course, that we did on Saturday night was watching Eurovision. I'll be taking down my little Eurovision flare today. So we were up way too late, because Eurovision for us starts at 9 o'clock in the evening, and you know, before they get through all the voting of the telephone votes, you know, from the public and the jury votes, it was like 1:15 in the morning before I got to bed. Anyway, it was all great fun and much excitement. And as I kind of predicted, Sweden won the jury vote, because the Swedes know how to deliver a real Eurovision song. So they won the jury's vote. And Norway, with the Sami man singing, and it was a very kind of funny pop song. The Norwegians won the popular vote, you know, the people's vote. But all in all, the overall winner, because they kind of take a mixture of, you know, it's kind of half and half of the jury and the public. The Netherlands won, so congratulations to the Netherlands. We weren't really impressed with the Netherlands song, we thought it was kind of boring, but anyway, hey ho, that's Eurovision, and it's all about the excitement, and I know Americans, you couldn't see Eurovision, but Madonna came to perform, and it was all built up, oh, Madonna's here, and you know, she was really dreadful. I mean, I know she's getting on a bit, but you know, she looks after herself, but honestly her performance was dire. And you know, I was sitting there with my husband saying, what is going on? You know, we had all these kind of weird and funny acts of all the Eurovision songs, and I thought, okay, here comes a true performer, and it just kind of felt really flat. So I don't know what went wrong for Madonna on Saturday night, but hey ho, that's life. Anyway, and also just wanted to check in, because it's been a wee while since we did checking about books, and now we've been talking about movies and stuff. I'm reading this one at the moment. Now, I've read quite a lot of her books before, Frances Brodie. It's set in Britain, just after the war, and it's kind of good little cozy crimes, and you can see why I was kind of attracted to this when I saw it at the library. And just a reminder, I get all my books from the library. We don't have any magazine or newspaper subscriptions. We stopped all those years ago because it was just money going out the window. So all of our stuff is from the library. This is my little library basket. And I picked up this one at the library. It's kind of suspiciously like the cover of the Hygge book. I know a lot of you have the Mike Viking Hygge book, which is a classic. And I kind of feel this is a bit riding on the skirt tails of the Hygge book. Anyway, it's somebody called Isabel Gillies, The Art of Arranging Yourself in the World. There are some interesting parts in it, but overall I found it a bit kind of twee and not, well, anyway, you can have a look yourself. This one is also going back to the library today. This is one that I was mentioning a couple of weeks ago. I really enjoyed some of it and really didn't enjoy other parts of it, but overall it was okay. And also a few magazines. Now, there's this one which is green, which is also you know, all about the environment and architecture. It was quite interesting, but not something I'd want to read every month. We've also got Femina. Now, Femina is Danish weekly, or is it every fortnight it comes out now? It's probably still weekly. And it's, you know, Danish fashion and visual makeovers and you know, cookery and, you know, that kind of stuff. And I'm not generally speaking into those kind of magazines, but if you are learning a new language, I found it personally that was one of the best ways. I learned Danish when I was still working in Luxembourg. I was working in Luxembourg, the European Court of Justice. Had met my would-be husband, and I knew that at some point we would be coming to live here, and of course I wanted to speak Danish. And there's I'm not sure if it's still there, but in Luxembourg there's a shop, and it was called the Scandinavian shop, the Scan shop I think it was called. And they had like a little cafe where you could get smørrebrød and buy Scandinavian foodstuffs, and they had magazines. And I would go there regularly and buy 1 or 2 Danish magazines and just look through them, because a lot of the thing is that, you know, especially food and drink, it's a really easy way just to keep reading the things, and even if you're not very good at the language, it just kind of sinks in. So that's a great way to learn a new language. And this one looked very fancy, and I'm sure it's really, really expensive. Well, you can tell it's expensive by the adverts that are in it. And apparently it's a Danish magazine. Kinfolk says, you know, all different interviews with very special people, but a lot of it just seems to be glossy adverts. But anyway, so it's not the kind of thing that I'll be reading again. And here's one. Now, this is one of the most dog-eared magazines you'll find at the library. Now, why is that? Well, because it's one of the kind of royal magazines that we have here in Denmark. It's called Billedbladet. Billedbladet, yeah, it's quite difficult to say. And every week we get, you know, what the royals are up to. That's Queen Margrethe, or Daisy, is her nickname. There you go. And you always get, oh, there's the Crown Prince Frederick and Mary, who's from Tasmania and has Scottish mother and father. And you'll see what the royals are up to, and you know, where they've been. So these magazines, and they also have, you know, a TV guide, of course. Let me just show you. Now, this is a really old one. It's from last November, but you can see what the Danes have. It's probably the same where you live. We have Vild med Dans, which is Dancing with the Stars, but with Danish people in it. And then things like, let's see, crime things, you know, all the usual crime. Let's see if I can find it. Okay, yeah, they have a little list of the Danes are really into crime series, just like I am. And here you've got a little list of what is on. So you've got Sherlock Holmes, you've got Special Victims Unit, Murdoch Mysteries, I think that's the Australian one, NCIS, and another Sherlock, and Hercule Poirot. So that's just what was on that day. Anyway, that's Billedbladet. And then the last one I've got in here, now this is a really nice book actually. Now, if you're Swedish, you'll be familiar with Ernst. I'm not even sure what his surname is. Oh, Ernst Kirchsteiger. Okay, he's a Swede, and he makes a lot of kind of lifestyle programs, and you'll see him building things, cooking, sewing. He does everything, you know, architecture, flower arranging, and he's got some really hygge programs. And when Mum's over, quite often we'll watch one of his programs. My mum doesn't speak any, you know, Swedish, obviously. She knows a few words in Danish, but she can follow along because it's just a really cozy program. So there's Ernst, and I'll just show you a wee look. I think this is one of the books where it's, you know, kind of a year of things. That's obviously autumn. And then you'll see how, okay, that's a bit over the top, but you see how he decorates things, and there's lots of, oh look, lovely lilacs, just like here in my garden right now. And he has this place that's right on a lake, and he invites guests over. And so anyway, that's a really lovely book, and he's always out doing something else. So I'm not usually into kind of lifestyle books, but Ernst is really hygge. And especially the Christmas ones. The Christmas ones are fantastic if you see them on television. Anyway, just hold on a minute. Yeah, just wanted to get everything put away before I sign off. I hope you are following along with your routines. As I said, just having the coffee set up makes it so much easier the next day, especially when you're having a day that you're really having to put one foot in front of the other. Just, you know, plod along there. Have your routines written down. That's the biggest tip I can give you. And also set your timer. And if you're having a really difficult day, I've talked about this before, do the top of the hour thing, you know, the TOTH, or the bottom of the hour. At the top of the hour, say like at 8 o'clock in the morning, 9 o'clock in the morning, 10 o'clock in the morning, just set your timer for 10 minutes and do something, you know, perhaps one of the tasks from the weekly blessing hour, and just keep moving forward. The rest of the hour you can relax, you can rest, you can sleep, especially if you've got health issues, or especially if you've got small kids. you know, if you've got a baby or whatever, just do 10 minutes at the top of the hour, and then rest for the rest of the hour, and then just move slowly through your day. You know, you'll get there. Just move slowly. Anyway, on that note, I'm going to get on my bike. I've got one last thing to do with my morning routine. Laundry, I put on the laundry this morning, it's ready to be hung up, and now I'm just deciding, will it rain today? I think I'm going to hang it up outside. It's quite mild here today. It's about 10 degrees Celsius, which is like 50 Fahrenheit. But it looks as though it's threatening to rain, so I think I'll hang up my washing outside, but I'll put it in the bike shed because that way it's kind of protected if we suddenly have a downpour. Anyway, I'll check in with you again tomorrow for day 21 of our 31 days of exercise, and as I said, I will we'll be doing a wee bit together in Flylady Zone for the bedroom. Anyway, on that note, I'm going to grab another cup of coffee, and I shall see you very soon. Okay, live long and prosper. May the Danish hygge be with you. Oh, and another news, the rhododendrons are now blooming here. Woohoo! That was something to be grateful for. Okay, see you tomorrow. Hi.